The following video is rated PG, which may contain some material that is unsuitable for younger viewers.
Hello everyone, it's December 8th, 2025, and we have 2 more weeks left until Christmas.
And 1 more week left before the end of the podcast. Yeah, we'll still be talking about that.
But let's not have a funeral just yet. We still got some things to talk about today. So, let's get into it.
Spotify Wrapped 2025 is here. We'll be talking about who is the world's top artist, and also examine how most of Galaxy Radio's podcasts have achieved this year. But first, it's the G4p news.
This is the G4p News. I'm Samuel Hogan. Asmongold is warning Twitch that someone might get shot if the Amazon-owned platform doesn't do something about the rise of nuisance streamers. With the rise of IRL streaming, problematic content has been a major issue plaguing sites like Kick, YouTube and Twitch. While some creators, such as the notorious Johnny Somali, have been permabanned for their antics in countries overseas, including Japan, Israel and South Korea, others have received lighter punishments. Reddit is clamping down on the number of popular subreddits that moderators can be involved with, and it comes after the Chaos 1 mod caused with the art subreddit. At the end of November, the art subreddit was sent into chaos after one moderator chose to ban artist Hayden Clay for posting about prints of his artwork. Clay was banned from the subreddit, other users started protesting the ban, and one moderator locked everything down, removing the rest of the moderators from power. YouTuber and streamer iShowSpeed was showered with praise during a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience guest starring John Cena. Joe Rogan and John Cena spent a large portion of JRE episode number 2423 discussing iShowSpeed, highlighting the streamer's athletic ability, willingness to take risks, and meteoric rise across YouTube and social media. Their comments came during a wide-ranging conversation about modern creators and how online fame has changed opportunities for young entertainers. Markiplier's feature film directorial debut is finally heading to theaters. Iron Lung, the horror sci-fi project he produced, wrote, directed, edited, financed, and stars in, is set to open in late January 2026 after more than 2 years in development. The film is based on the 2022 indie horror game from David Szymanski. Markiplier first revealed the project in 2023 after completing shooting, and has spent the years since pushing it through post-production and securing a theatrical window. G4p TV has officially announced the return of Deadly Relatives, coming back with a second season starting December 15th. Following the cancellations of 2 Minecraftian soap operas like Emergency Lane and Emergency Lane, A New Generation, and also the conclusion of Sins and Loves, concerns were raised about the future of Deadly Relatives, with many fearing for its cancellation, but it was saved. The new season promises to feature new characters, more drama, romance, and excitement throughout. In weather, we'll be expecting cloudy skies with fog. The foggy weather continues throughout the week, with mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday. More news can be found on the G4p News website.
Yup. You heard right guys, Deadly Relatives is finally back, and it's not long to wait. It's coming out on December 15th.
Finally, we waited a whole year to see the new season, but enough with the soap gossip. Let's talk about this year's Spotify Wrapped. Yup. It's the time of year again, that time when Spotify tells you what songs you listened to throughout the year, what podcasts you listened to, and so on.
Not gonna tell you what my Spotify Wrapped looks like. I don't usually share them to you in public, but anyway, we're gonna talk about who the world's top artist is this year. This year, Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist on Spotify. Yeah, Bad Bunny is back taking the #1 spot from Taylor Swift, a record he previously held back in 2022. The other most streamed artists this year also include The Weeknd, Drake, and Billie Eilish.
It's official. Taylor Swift has been dethroned.
But back to Spotify Wrapped. We'll be going down to our own, looking at every single rap from each of Galaxy Radio's podcasts, so when you go to the Spotify for Creators website, you can see this section that takes you to the Spotify Wrapped page. Yes, that thing right here.
We'll just start with G4p TV Breakfast, which is us. Wow. I really do like the design in this, by the way. Sorry if this is in another language, but I think you'll have to understand everything you're seeing right now.
It's nothing really major, it's just showing how popular our podcast has grown on Spotify. But let's see the most viewed episode of the year. Oh nah, we ain't talking about that again, no way. This is embarrassing.
I bet you guys are still watching that episode and see what Ladybird Lou has done.
And apparently 132% of you guys on Spotify watch more video episodes than audio ones, which is pretty good because, who even watches audio-only podcasts anyway? And everyone in the world watching our podcast are from the UK, Hungary, Brazil, the US, and Argentina. Big shout out to those guys from these countries watching.
Now let's do the Chuckcast one, and I also like the fact that whenever I move the cursor around, it creates a little trail. That's cool.
Wow, look at that, 999% rise in total new followers. That's insane.
Yeah, I guess you guys still like this podcast very much.
And the most viewed episode of the year? Okay, well not technically an episode, but rather a short.
Why the heck is there an AI photo of Chuck in that cover art? He doesn't even look like that in the game. This is ugly.
And the most commented episode on the podcast is from January 22nd, 2025, in which Chuck is exposed for his true colors.
Like, come on you guys. That was a long time ago. Chuck is not an informant, it's all an act. Imagine the whole podcast was scripted back in the day.
And the top countries? Hungary, the UK, Brazil, the US, and Argentina.
Chuckcast apparently has the biggest fan base among any other Galaxy Radio podcast on Spotify, if I'm accurate. Next up, Minecast.
Yeah, it's the same number that Chuckcast had. Pretty good stats there.
Now let's look at the most popular episode of the year. Yes, the most popular episode of 2025 is literally the first episode of the podcast. I bet you guys come back to see this episode again to look back at how different this thing used to be.
The top countries for that too is New Zealand, Australia, Canada, the UK, and the US. And much like Chuckcast, Minecast has a rather big fan base, possibly because it recaptures the same energy that Minecraft News Gone Crazy has.
Finally, let's do Rafflecast. Oh boy, I'm curious.
633% rise. Not bad. Now let's see the most popular episode of the year. Oh, yeah, it was that one episode from January 31st when Harvey did something rather controversial. Could we play that clip?
I never said I fired you, Harvey. Liar! Ouch. You bastard.
Jeez Louise, Harvey. What did you do?
I'm sorry you all had to see that, but lessons had to be learned.
Actually, you know what? You can go to the Big Brother house for all I care because you are never returning here again. You're fired.
So yeah, basically what happened was that Harvey got fired from the podcast for slapping Taylor for allegedly taking away his job. He did eventually come back, however. But moving on, the top countries are Bulgaria, Hungary, Brazil, the US, and Argentina. And Rafflecast also has a pretty decent fan base for its Q&A segment and its Dave Madsen style humor.
And also, there's this new feature added to Spotify Wrapped this year, called Wrapped Party. It's a new party game that allows you to compete against up to 9 friends with questions based on your listening habits.
Picture this, your friend's most listened song is from Weird Al Yankovic.
Now, our final thoughts. We checked everything from this year's Wrapped, the songs, the podcasts, everything. But, was it any better compared to last year?
Well, yes, it's actually better than last year's Wrapped, which was a letdown. The 2025 Wrapped was a big comeback, with extra engagement, design upgrades, and a return to meaningful data. Wrapped 2025 hit more than 200 million engaged user within the first 24 hours, 19% faster than in 2024. When that milestone took 62 hours.
But let us know what you think in the quiz. Do you listen to Spotify?
And don't forget to send in your Spotify Wrapped screenshots on G4p TV's community space. We'd sure love to see them.
But anyway, well, I think that's it. That's the end for this episode.
But join us next Monday as we look back at this podcast and bid a final farewell. So, be there.
But in the meantime, do enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.